Hi, this is a review about Adobe Premiere Pro CC. Actually, this is the third review because I've recorded it twice and I wasn't happy. I'm going to try and keep this to about 5 minutes. I was new to video editing, paid for the subscription a year ago, and so this is kind of a review of my experience, not just the software itself. One of my main complaints is that despite what you read in forums, it's really not intuitive software. There are lots of panels, it's complicated, things have strange names, things are hidden, things don't seem to work properly, but sometimes you can't tell if it's meant to be like that. I'll give you one example. If I drag in a video, you'll see that it dragged in the video but not the audio. It only brings the audio either the first time you ever drag it in, or if you drag in two things at once, like that, you see it dragged in this little picture, which we don't need. But now you've got the audio component, which is this bottom box. Whereas if we just dragged in the single file, which is a video, it only brings in the video. Very strange. I think it's a bug. I don't know, maybe they're doing it deliberately. Maybe they think you don't want the audio except on the first ever clip. Sometimes I don't want the audio. But what's so frustrating is the first time you do this, you don't know that wasn't meant to happen. So you're, expanding this, and you're looking in here for the audio, and you're trying to add new channels or look for channels you can't see. You're going into the options, you're going back to the library, you're deleting the original footage, you're re-importing it, and it's just so frustrating. And then you find out, because you go to a forum, oh, you didn't do anything wrong, it's just a bug. And it's a bug that's been there for years and they haven't fixed it, despite constantly updating the software. If it's not a bug, it's a feature, but it's a very unintuitive one, and there's no explanation. I have to move that over there. Some of the cooler video effects, which they just took me a long time to find because they're so deeply buried. These are effects that change the hue and give the I'll have to go over here, give the image, this will look really horrible, but give the movie a different kind of saturation or hue or effect, and some of them are actually really nice. This looks kind of weird because it's just a blue sky, but you can get some very nice effects with these. I know this looks absolutely horrible, but with other footage it's quite nice. Now, unfortunately, when I first got the software, I was looking for something just like this and I couldn't find it because it's hidden under all of this. Look at how many folders and subfolders there are. I won't harp on this, but why is it so hidden? And it's, I don't know, it's just not, again, not intuitive. What is a Lumetri preset? I guess you're meant to know this before you start, so maybe I'm just guilty of ignorance, but there's GoPro stuff here. I don't know, man. It's awesome now that I found it, but not very intuitive. There are some effects which aren't there. Like, I just wanted a shaky film effect and some flashing light sort of effect like you get in really old film, and there's nothing, as far as I know, there's nothing in there that does that, because you look for a tutorial and you have to do it manually. You have to manually adjust the lighting like 5 times a second and 3 or 4 vibrations a second. You can do all that with the animation system, but yeah, it's just I don't know, you'd think they'd have something like that in there, but they don't. So I've mentioned one of the bugs. The other bug is when you do masking. Masking is really quite powerful. It allows you to apply an effect just to one area. And again, the other thing is there are just so many tabs. And apparently that's something where Sony Vegas is better. So timeline, you got the tabs up here which allow you to change things. It took me a while to find this because I wouldn't notice the program subtly switching between these two. But when you're masking with a couple of layers of video where you're overlaying things, it can get really buggy, and yeah, it actually just doesn't even work sometimes. You do everything right. That's where it's frustrating as a new user, because you did something right but it didn't work, and then you think you did something wrong. And then for me, I just actually gave up using masks for a while, came back, and suddenly it was all working fine. I'm running out of time already. The other thing is the price. It's gone up in price, of course. It's a subscription. I should have known that's what would happen. And I think it's now at the point where it's actually too expensive, especially the bundle. The bundle's too expensive. Maybe Premiere Pro and nothing else. It's worth it. I don't know. But yeah, to me the price is it is a bit much. I'm in an unfortunate position where I have to make a choice between, going and buying Vegas and forking out, another few $100s, but at least it's standalone software, or continuing with the subscription. Now, normally, my advice to anyone watching this is just go and get Sony Vegas. Based on recent comments I've read about it, I think it sounds like it's actually better than I thought it was a year ago when I decided not to get it. Apparently it's very powerful, and it would do anything Premiere Pro does, but in a much more simple manner. Apparently it has much better audio capability. Oh, the other thing is, my note taker, it records WAV files, and guess what? This won't recognize a WAV file, so I have to convert to MP3 in Audacity and then import the MP3. Very annoying. The equalization system in here is a bit weird. I actually don't use it. I use it in Audacity instead. The waveform matching, which allows you to make sure video and individually recorded audio are in sync, doesn't work very well. There's an automatic feature which would be super useful if it worked. Sometimes it works. But what happens is my note taker records at about 0.05% different speed than my video camera. Now after 15 minutes that causes things to get out of sync. Now what I have to do, because the auto matching doesn't work all the time, is actually go into Audacity and speed up or slow down the WAV file or the MP3, and then I can get it to match the video. Very annoying. So you're paying for a feature which doesn't always work. So yeah, do I keep using Premiere Pro because I now have sort of got through that difficult first year of finding all the bugs and the little idiosyncrasies which slow you down? Or do I just start again with Sony Vegas and save money? To be honest, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But my advice to anyone who is in the position I was in a year ago, don't use Premiere Pro. It's just too expensive. It's an absolute money trap. Go and get Sony Vegas instead. At least then you have a standalone independent system on your computer as well. And if you think that it's not good enough, you can always get Premiere, I guess. But I don't know. I'm rather unsatisfied. Now just a quick note on After Effects. Didn't use as much as I thought. The problem with After Effects is it bugs out when there's an update. So if you try, it has to connect online to render the video, and when you try and render it after there's been an update, for some reason it just won't render it. So then you have to sort of close the program, close the files you're working on, re-update, which can take quite a while because it's a huge update patch normally, and reinstall it, whatever. And then yeah, I did get it working again, but yeah, quite annoying. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it there.